Hi, this is Shefali. I'm here in Bali. It is 4:30 in the morning on December 7th. Why am I still here at the 9th WTO Ministerial? It's because we were expecting yesterday that the closing ceremony would take place at 3 p.m., but it didn't. The chair was coming up with a draft text on his own responsibility after having negotiated with a bunch of members. And the contentious issue was food security, trade facilitation. But it seemed like by the time that members came in at midnight, most members were going to accept. And so many of us were busy writing blogs about the end of the ministerial. And around 3 a.m., when people started to leave, we thought that everyone had accepted the text, only to find out that Cuba, Venezuela, Nicaragua, and Bolivia actually have blocked consensus. Now, the WTO is supposed to work in a consensus-based system, which means every country's voice counts. We know from many years of experience that has been a consistent problem for the WTO. There are all kinds of problems in terms of transparency and inclusiveness, and different DGs, Director Generals, have tried to address that problem. Pascal Lamy, the previous Director General, was actually quite problematic because he often held these very small meetings. This new Director General from Brazil, Roberto Azevedo, has been very popular in Geneva since he came in September and has prided himself on his inclusiveness. But this meeting has been a very bilateral meeting with a lot of negotiations taking place with very few countries. In order to get a clean text, a text without any brackets today. And the result of that has been that Cuba had a major problem around trade facilitation, particularly around the U.S. embargo, because it concerns transit through Cuba of goods from other countries. And Cuba had introduced language which never made it in the text. And so Cuba, Venezuela, Nicaragua, and Bolivia raised both a process issue that we had actually asked for language to be included in the text, which hasn't been included in the text, and this issue around the embargo hasn't been addressed. And they actually invoked Article 9.1 of the Marrakesh Agreements that say that a country can block consensus. And so it's very interesting because it was also Cuba and Venezuela and Hong Kong in 2005 that opposed the GATS negotiations, the problems in the text then, and they were put into a footnote because they didn't officially come and say we withdraw consensus. So this time, once again, in 2013, the WTO is at a standstill over inclusiveness issues.